Hello, good afternoon to all of my students in this learning class. Today we are going to discuss about the animal tissue from NED course of class 12. First of all, let's know about animal tissue. Animal tissue or the tissue may be defined as the group of cells having similar in structure, origin, and are specialized to perform specific functions. The study of tissue is called the histology. There are four types of animal tissue. They are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue are those tissue which cover outer part of an organ or inner part of an organ, and they are secretory, glandular, and sensory in functions. On the basis of shape of cell layers, there are two types of epithelial tissue. They are simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium are those tissue which is composed of single layer of cells. The cell rests on the basement membrane. There are four types of simple epithelium. There are simple pavement or squamous epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, pseudohystoid epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium is made up of thin, flat, and hexagonal cells arranged in a single layer, lies on the basement membrane. A large nucleus is present centrally in each cell. They are protective in function as well as absorption, filtration, and gaseous exchange. These tissues are present in lining of ball cavity, blood vessel, kidney, alveoli of lungs. Dear students, see here the figure of simple squamous epithelium, which is hexagonal in shape and rests on the basement membrane. It is tile-like in structure, so they are called the squamous or pavement epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium are those tissue which is made up of cubical cells arranged in a single layer, lies on the basement membrane. There are two types of simple cuboidal epithelium. They are ciliated cuboidal and brass border cuboidal. If the cubical cell have cilia on pre-surface, it is called ciliated cuboidal. And if the cubical cells have microvilli on the pre-surface, it is called brass border cuboidal epithelium. It forms the lining of kidney tubules, switch gland, salivary gland, gut lining, testes, and ovary. This tissue involves in secretion, absorption, and excretion. See here the figure of simple cubical cells, figure number A, having cilia, figure number B, ciliated cuboidal, and having microvilli on free surface, that is cuboidal, brass border cuboidal epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium is those types of tissue which is made up of columnar cells or elongated cells arranged in a single layer, lies on basement membrane. It is also two types. They are ciliated columnar and brass border columnar. If the columnar cell have cilia on pre-surface, it is ciliated columnar. And if the columnar cells have microvilli on its pre-surface, it is called the brass border columnar. It forms the lining of stomach, gastric gland, intestinal glands, gallbladder, ureter, and uterine wall. This tissue involved in secretion, protection, excretion. This is the figure of columnar epithelium. This is elongated cell. The nucleus is not placed in the center of the cell, that it is present in peripheral region of the cell. Pseudohystoid epithelium, those tissue which consist of smaller and larger columnar cell in single basement membrane are called pseudohystoid epithelium. It is found in the lining of trachea, large bronchi, and duct of some ducts, glands. Its function are protection against dust particles entering the respiratory tract. See here the figure of the pseudohystoid epithelium. Smaller elongated cell are present below the larger elongated cell or columnar cell, and cilia are present on its free surface. Stratified are the compound epithelial tissue. Next types of epithelial tissue is compound epithelial tissue. This tissue is found of several layers of the epithelial cell. There are four types of stratified epithelial tissue. There is stratified squamous epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, and transitional epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium are those types of tissue in which upper layer consists of large flat polygonal or squamous cell. It is also two types. They are keratinized stratified epithelium and non-keratinized stratified epithelium. Keratinized epithelium are present in on our hair, claws, nails, and non-keratinized epithelium are present in buccal cavity, pharynx, and vagina of male. See here the figure of stratified squamous epithelium, that all the cells are the polygonal, and uppermost part of the layer consists of the keratin protein, so called the keratinized epithelium. And if there is an absence of keratin protein, that is called the non-keratinized epithelium. Stratified cuboidal epithelium is the types of tissue in which the outermost layer consists of the cuboidal cells, which is found on sweat gland, salivary gland, pancreatic gland, female urethra, etc. Here is a figure of the stratified cuboidal and columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium is the type of tissue in which outer layer of tissue consists of the tall columnar cells. However, the lower layer consists of the germinated cells. It is found on the lining of ducts of mammary gland, lining of vasa differentia, trachea, and bronchi. Transitional epithelium is composed of several layers of cells. It is capable in extension, which has the capacity to contract and relaxation. These types of tissue are present in urinary bladder, ureters, uterus, etc. Here is a figure of transitional epithelium. That basal layer is elongated cells. You can see there, intermediate layer and surface layer in transitional epithelium. They have the capacity of contraction and relaxation. Modified epithelium. There are 4 types of modified epithelium: ciliated epithelium, sensory epithelium, germinal epithelium, and glandular epithelium. Ciliated epithelium is those tissue which consist of cilia on its free surface. It is found in trachea, bronchi, sperm duct. Sensory epithelium are those tissue which consist of sensory papillae, or it is present in the sense organ like tongue, nasal cavity. And germinal epithelium are those tissue which are found in testes and ovary and helps to form male gamete and female gamete. Glandular epithelium are those tissue which present in glands and helps in secretion of enzyme and hormones. See here the ciliated and sensory epithelium. Ciliated epithelium consists of cilia on its free surface, and sensory epithelium consists of sensory hair or sensory papillae on its free surface, which helps in sensation. Types of gland. Based on the number of the cells, there are 2 types of gland. They are unicellular gland and multicellular glands. Unicellular glands are those glands which consist of single cell, like goblet cell, mucus secreting cell, and multicellular gland are those glands which consist of numerous cuboidal cells. It is present in sweat gland, gastric gland, etc. You can see the figure of unicellular gland and multicellular gland here. Based on the kind of secretion and the duct present, there are 2 types of gland. They are exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Endocrine glands secrete the enzymes and pure their secretion through the duct. For example, salivary gland, tear gland, gastric gland, intestinal gland. Endocrine glands are those glands which secrete hormone and pure their secretion directly into the blood vessel. For example, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, pineal gland, etc. Exocrine and endocrine gland figures is here. Please practice yourself well. If figure number A is exocrine gland and figure number B is endocrine gland. Based on the shape and complexity, there are 2 types of gland. There are simple gland and the compound or complex gland. Simple glands have a single unbranched duct, and it is of 5 types. Simple tubular gland, that it is tubular in structure, and if their tube is coiled, it is called the simple coiled tubular gland. Simple tubular gland are present in intestinal crest. Simple coiled tubular gland is present in sweat gland. Simple branched tubular gland is present in lining of gastric and Warner glands. Simple alveolar gland are present in mucosa secreting gland of hog. Simple branched alveolar gland are present in sebaceous or well gland of mammals. See here the figure of simple exocrine gland. A number the tubular, B number coiled tubular, branched tubular C number, alveolar tubular and branched alveolar tubular figure is in E. Based on the shape and complexity, there are 2 types of gland. They are simple and compound gland, which I have already explained to you. And now compound gland are those glands which consist of number of ducts. These are 3 types. They are compound tubular, which is found in salivary gland, compound alveolar, which is present in mammary gland, pancreatic gland, and compound tubular alveolar gland, which is present in salivary and the mammary gland. See here the figure that branched, all A, B, C all have the branch, so it is called the compound. And A number that branched tubular, B number branched alveolar, and C number branched alveolar tubular gland. Alveolar and tubular both are present in figure number C. That is compound exuberant gland. Based on the mode of secretion, there are three types of gland. They are merocrine gland, apocrine gland, and holocrine gland. Merocrine glands secrete their secretion and discharge on its cell surface by diffusion without losing any part of the cytoplasm. For example, Goblet's gland, salivary gland, sweaty gland. Apocrine gland are those glands which secrete their secretion with loss of some part of the cytoplasm. For example, mammary gland. Holocrine gland are those glands which secrete their secretion with the loss of entire cell. For example, sebaceous gland. See here the figure of the merocrine. That merocrine secrete their secretion only. Apocrine secrete their secretion with some part of cell. Holocrine secrete their secretion with whole part of the cell. Based on the nature of the secretion, there are three types of gland. They are mucous gland, serous gland, mixed gland. Mucous gland secrete the mucosa or mucus, which is present in goblet cell of intestine. Serous gland secrete the watery fluid. It is present in salivary gland. It is salivary gland. Mixed gland secrete both mucus as well as watery fluid, so called the mixed gland. And for example, gastric glands and pancreatic glands. Let's know about the connective tissue. We have just discussed about the epithelial tissue. Those tissue that binds and support different parts of the body is called the connective tissue. The cell of the connective tissue are separated by non-living materials. Some function of the connective tissue are it binds the different cell or tissue together. It stores lipids or fat globules in the cells in adipose. It forms skeletal to support framework of the body. It insulates the body. It replaces dead and damaged tissue. It transports materials from one place to another place or another part of the body. The major component of the connective tissue are cells, matrix, and fibers. Let's hear about the cell. There are 5 types of cell in connective tissue: fibroblast, macrophages, mast cell, plasma cell, and adipocytes. Fibrocyte is spindle shape. You can see a structure. Macrophage is amoeboid shape. Mast cell is large oval shape. Plasma cell is round and small shape. Adipocytes is spherical in structure. Fibroblasts produce fibers. Macrophages are phagocyte in nature. It engulfs bacteria. Mast cell produce heparin and histamine, which helps in coagulation as well as inflammation of disease when they are injured. Plasma cell produce antibodies that helps in self-defense, and adipocyte store fat. Let's know about matrix, next component of connective tissue. The matrix can be thought of as the substances in which the cells are embedded. It is the ground substances for the cells of connective tissue. The matrix can be fluid, semi-fluid, gelatinous or the ground substances, and protein fiber. A ground substances is a supportive medium made of water and large molecules. Now, third component of connective tissue is fibers. It consists of 3 types of fiber: collagen or the white fibers, elastic or yellow fiber, reticulate fiber. Collagen fiber is a long and unbranched, which consists of collagen protein. Elastic fiber are long, straight, branched, and it consists of elastin protein. Reticulate fiber are very fine, short, thread-like fiber, and it consists of reticulin protein. These are types of connective tissue which we are going to discuss now. There are 3 types of connective tissue: connective tissue proper or proper connective tissue, supportive connective tissue, fluid connective tissue. That proper connective tissue again divided into loose proper connective tissue and dense proper connective tissue. Loose proper connective tissue again divided into areolar and adipose tissue. Dense connective tissue again divided into white fibrous tissue, yellow elastin tissue, or it also can be divided into tendon or ligament. Supporting connective tissue Again, divided into two parts, there are cartilage and bone. There are four types of cartilage: hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrous cartilage, calcified cartilage. Bone, there is two types: there is spongy bone and compact bone. And fluid connective tissue are two types: they are blood and lymph. Proper connective tissue. On the basis of softness, rigidity, and degree of toughness, there are two types of proper connective tissue. They are loose proper connective tissue, and it is again divided into two parts. They are areolar tissue. This tissue, areolar tissue, are loose, irregular, arranged connective tissue that consists of collagenous and elastin fiber, of protein, polysaccharides, gram substances, and connective tissue cells are present in areolar tissue. Example: white collagen fiber, alloelastic fiber, fibrocyte, microfibrous, mast cell are present in the areolar tissue. These are the components of areolar tissue. Areolar tissue acts as supporting and packing tissue. It is present under the skin of human body. Adipose tissue or the fat tissue, adipocyte cells is present here, so I call it fat tissue. Is an anatomical term for loose connective tissue composed of adipocytes. It consists of many cells of adipocytes. Its main role is to store energy in the form of fat, although it insulates the body. It is present below the eyeballs, kidney, heart. There is a figure of areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Some components of connective tissue we can see here, that fiber matrix as well as the different types of the cell. In figure number B, adipocytes, that is spherical cell, we can see that is a adipose tissue. Dense connective tissue are those tissue which consist of densely arranged matrix. It is of two types: white fibrous tissue and alloelastic tissue. If there is a numerous white fibrous tissue arranged in the densely packed matrix, that is called the white fibrous tissue. It also helps to form the tendon of our body. Alloelastic tissue are those tissue which consist of bundle of elastin fiber. This fiber can stretch up to the 1.5 times their length and snap back to their original length when relaxed. It formed alloelastic tissue, formed ligament in our body. Here, white fibrous tissue consists of the bundle of densely packed white collagen fiber, and alloelastic tissue consists of densely packed alloelastic fibers. In figure, you can be clear here. Supportive connective tissue. Supportive connective tissue are those tissue which support our body and form the skeleton. Also, it protects the delicate organ of the human, like the heart, kidney, brain, so on. It is of two types: the cartilage and bones. Cartilage is a type of connective tissue which is formed by the numerous chondrocyte cells arranged in the matrix, jelly matrix. That cartilage is formed by the group of chondrocyte cells. There are three types of cartilage: hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, elastic cartilage. There is today, in some case, it is also divided into four parts. They are hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, and elastic cartilage, as well as the calcified cartilage. And calcified cartilage are those cartilage which consist of calcium and make the cartilage hard due to the deposition of calcium carbonate. Now, hyaline cartilage, these types of cartilage is flexible, transparent, and homogeneous. Hyaline cartilage is the articular cartilage of long bones, sternum, ribs, etc. Its color is bluish white and it is flexible. Fibrous cartilage are those types of cartilage which have numerous white fibers. It is present in around the joint. Its color is gelatinous, white, and the appearance is opaque. Elastic cartilage are those types of cartilage which has numerous alloelastic fibers. It is present in the ear pinna, external auditory meatus, eustachian tube, and epiglottis. Its color is yellowish and appearance is opaque. Calcified cartilage is hard, stiff, and non-elastic cartilage. It is found in pectoral girdle of the man. See here the figure of hyaline cartilage. It consists of the perichondrium outer parts, matrix, lacuna, chondrocytes. Fibrous and elastic cartilage figure is here, which consists of numerous fiber, white fiber in fiber cartilage and alloelastic fiber in elastic cartilage, and there is a presence of chondrocyte cell that pin-shaped structure or oval-shaped structure you can see as a chondrocyte or the cartilage cell. Now, neuron of bone. A bone is a rigid organ that constitutes part of the vertebral skeleton. Bones support and protect the various organs of the body, produce red and white blood cells, store minerals, and also enable mobility. Bone tissue is a type of dense connective tissue. Bones comes in a variety of shape and size and have a complex internal and external structure. Structure of bone. A typical weight-bearing bone has an outer membrane called the periosteum. The actual bone has an outer layer of the denser bone called compact bone. An inner layer of the more honeycomb bone called the tubercular bone. Compact bone has structures called osteons or the Eversine system. Osteocytes, that is a bone cell. The numerous bone cells are present to form the bone tissue and are found between the lamella of the bone. Tubercular bone is a network of interconnected mineralized matrix with the hollows between filled with bone marrow. Bones also contain nerves, blood vessels, and other non-bony structure. Biochemically, the bone matrix is composed of collagen fiber and deposition of the hydroxyapatite that forms the mineral component of the bone. See here the figure of the bone, TS of bone you can see. Outer part is periosteum. In figure number B you can see there. And outer osteoblast cell are present there. Lacuna with osteocytes is present. Canalicule, inner osteoblast there is. Bone marrow where the RBC and WBC is formed also showing. And now please practice this figure more time to draw easily in your exam. Fluid connective tissue. It consists of both myeloid and the lymphoid tissue, which forms the blood and the lymph respectively. And first of all, let's know about the blood. Blood is one type of fluid connective tissue. It consists of plasma and the corpuscles or blood cells. Blood plasma is the pale yellow liquid component of blood that normally holds the blood cell in whole blood in suspension. It is just like the matrix of connective tissue. And it makes up about 55% of the body's total blood volume. Composition of blood plasma are water 90 to 92%, dissolved solid 8 to 10%, respiratory gases carbon dioxide and carbon dioxide, oxygen. Internal secretion is antibodies and various enzymes. The function of plasma is that of carrying the white blood cell, platelets, and the RBC. It maintains the pH value and operate as the exchange system of both sodium and potassium. The immunoglobulin act as antibodies and helps the body to develop immunity. Blood cells. Blood cells are called the hematocyte. Is a cell produced by hematopoiesis and normally found in blood. It categorized in 3 groups. They are RBC, WBC, and platelets. RBC are erythrocytes or RBC, red blood corpuscles, carry oxygen and collect carbon dioxide through the use of hemoglobin and have a lifetime of about 120 days. WBC are leukocytes, helps in the immune system. It defends the body against the different types of the disease and foreign materials. There is students. There are 2 types of WBC. They are granulocyte and agranulocyte. Granulocyte have bilobed nucleus. Agranulocyte do not have bilobed nucleus. You can see in the figure also. Granulocyte is divided into 3 groups. They are eosinophil, basophil, and neutrophil. Agranulocyte is divided into 2 types. They are the monocytes and lymphocytes. Eosinophil have bilobed nucleus. Basophil have S-shaped nucleus. Neutrophil have the multi-lobe nucleus. Monocyte have bean-shaped nucleus. Lymphocyte have large oval nucleus. Eosinophil helps to respond to allergic activities. Basophil produce heparin and histamine. Neutrophil engulf bacteria. Monocyte engulf bacteria, and lymphocytes produce the antibodies. In this way, that you can know about the 2 types of WBC, they are granulocyte and agranulocyte. That figure, that chart help you to know about types of WBC or leukocytes. Platelets or thrombocytes. Platelets or thrombocytes or yellow blood cells are very small, irregular shaped cell. They are fragments and They are about 2.2 to 4 micrometer in diameter. Some function of blood is explained here. First of all, it helps in transportation of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. They transport nutrition. They transport waste product from different tissue of the body. They transport hormone from different gland to target cell, and also helps in thermoregulation or temperature maintained in the body. It also protects the body from different types of the disease that WBC work for that types of activities. Antibodies and other proteins destroy pathogenic substances. Platelets factors initiate blood clotting and help minimize blood loss. It also helps in regulation of the pH value of blood and helps in water balance in the body fluid. Now, lymph. Lymph is the fluid that circulates throughout the lymphatic system. The lymph is formed when the interstitial fluid is collected through lymph capillaries. It is then transported through lymph vessel to lymph nodes before impeding ultimately into the right or the left subclavian vein, where it mixes back with the blood. That lymphatic system or the lymph nodes or lymphatic fluid helps us to defend against the disease and protect from different types of the disease. Function of the lymph. Lymph acts as the middleman which transport oxygen, food materials, and hormones. Body cells are kept moist by the lymph. Lymph nodes produce lymphocytes. Lymph takes lymphocytes and the antibodies from the lymph nodes to the blood. It destroys the invading microorganisms and foreign particles in the lymph nodes. It absorbs and transports fat and fat-soluble vitamins from the intestine. It brings plasma, protein micromolecules synthesized in the liver cell, and hormones produced in the endocrine gland to the blood. Here is a short view or table about the fluid connective tissue, that RBC, WBC granulocyte is part eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, agranulocyte, monocytes, lymphocytes, and platelets. Please, dear students, try to copy this table or chart from the video and prepare well yourself. Now, third tissue, animal tissue, is muscular tissue. We are going to discuss here. There are three types of muscular tissue. They are stratified, unstratified, and the cardiac tissue. Muscular tissue are derived from the mesodermal layer of the embryonic germ cell. In the process of myogenesis, it is formed by specialized contractile cells. The muscular tissue is used for movement of arms or limbs for locomotion or location. Muscle action can be classified as being either voluntary or involuntary. There are three types of muscles. They are skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. First of all, unstraight or involuntary muscles. These muscles are spindle-shaped, tapering at both ends, which I've already shown in first figure, with numerous fine longitudinal myofibrils. Each myofibril contains a single oval nucleus. At the middle, there is no sarcolemma. The fiber being bounded merely by its plasma membrane. They exhibit slow but prolonged contraction. These muscles are not fatigued. They are also called as involuntary muscles, as we cannot move or use according to our wish. It is found in stomach, intestine, lungs, urinary bladder, etc. Straight or skeletal or voluntary muscles. These muscles are long and cylindrical fiber with blunt ends. Each fiber is bounded by the elastic sarcolemma and contain many eccentric nuclei. In the vertebrates, these muscles are attached to the skeleton, so they are called the skeletal muscles. These muscles fatigue or tired quickly. They are found in body wall, limbs, tongue, pharynx, beginning of the esophagus. Cardiac muscles. These muscles are only located in the heart wall. These contract rhythmically but do not get fatigued. They consist of cylindrical muscles interconnected by oblique bridge and forming a continuous contractile network, which you can see in the figure also. The cardiac muscles are myogenic. Structure of these cardiac muscles consists of intermediate type while having the properties of both striped and unstriped muscles. Nervous tissue now. Lastly, we are going to discuss about nervous tissue. Nervous tissue form the nervous system of the animals. It control and coordinate the body function. It is ectodermal in origin. It consists of neurons which have two very important basic properties. They are respectively excitability and conductivity. These are the main function of the nervous tissue. A neuron is a cell of nervous tissue. A neuron, also known as the neuron or nerve cell, which is an electrically excitable cell that process and transmit information through the electrical and chemical signals. These signals between neurons occurs by synapses, specialized connection with other cells. Neurons can connect to each other to form neural networks. Neurons are the core component of the nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, which together comprises the central nervous system, and the ganglia of the peripheral nervous system, PNS. Specialized types of neuron include sensory neurons, which respond to touch, sound, light, and all other stimuli affecting the cell of the sensory organs, that then send signal to the spinal cord and the brain. Motor neurons that receive signals from the brain and spinal cord to cause muscles contraction and affect glandular outputs. And interneurons, which connect neurons to other neurons within the same region of the brain or spinal cord in neural networks. Dear students, here the figure of the neuron, that myelinated neuron and the non-myelinated neuron. That myelinated neuron in first figure, which consists of the myelin sheath or myelin protein in its axon, but non-myelinated do not consist of myelin sheath or the myelin protein on its axon. This is also the figure of the neurons. On the basis of structure, nerve fiber are of two types. They are myelinated and non-myelinated. Just I explained that myelinated nerve fiber consists of myelin protein on its axon. It is present in the white matter of brain and spinal cord, cranial, and the spindle nerves. Non-myelinated nerve do not consist of myelin sheath or myelin protein on its axon. It is found in gray matter of brain and spinal cord. On the basis of function of nerve impulses, there are two types of nerve fiber. They are afferent nerve fiber and efferent nerve fiber. Afferent nerve fiber conduct nerve impulses from sense organ to central nervous system. Efferent nerve fiber conduct nerve impulses from central nervous system to the body organs. These are also called motor nerve fiber. Based on the number of their process, there are three types of nerve neuron. They are unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. Unipolar neuron have only one axon with dendrites. Bipolar neuron have two processes take through origin from the organs. Multipolar neuron have many processes. Here is a figure of unipolar. Single axon consists of unipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron consists of double axon, and multipolar neuron consists of numerous axon with many dendrites. That is smaller fiber. Here is that dendrites you can see here, please. Now, neuroglia or the glial cell are those cells which are non-neuronal cells that maintain the homeostasis, form myelin protein, and provide support and protection for neurons in the brain and peripheral nervous system. Neuroglia surround neurons and hold them in place. It supplies nutrients and oxygen to neurons. It insulates one neurons from another. It also acts as phagocyte and kill microorganisms. Here is a figure of glial cell. Figure A, B, C, D. These are the types of glial cells. Please, dear students, we have just discussed about this tissue, animal tissue, the 4 types of animal tissue for the NEB board exam. And thank you for listening whole of my this e-learning class, and best of luck for the board exam. Once again, very thank you to all of